and a very warm welcome to you all, wherever you may be, to Lockdown SK, the interactive self-isolation talk show, coming to you from our mobile streaming studio here on the beautiful island of Corfu in sunny Greece. And just for any reason there should be an interruption to our broadcast transmission, you can always log on to our website at www.studiokerkyra.com or the video platform vimeo.com, or indeed good old YouTube, where you will find us in superb HD quality. And as always, we're very lucky to have on board our producer, Claire Haas, who will be returning all your comments on Facebook Live and taking those calls live on Skype. And equally, I'm very lucky to be joined in the micro streaming studio today by Mr. Thomas Haas. Hello, Thomas, how are you?
Hello, Adrian. Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching again here on this glorious Sunday, 12th of April.
Isn't it beautiful?
And Easter Sunday, what a fantastic day. It's again, the sun is out. It's brilliant. It's just, I said earlier a little bit on the steps here preparing for the program. And it's just so nice, just getting a little bit of the sun rays. It's not permission to go out, okay? Hi, guys. Hello, thanks for joining. A lot of people joining again. Thanks. Lorraine Smith is joining. Senior Trombo is joining. Steve Ford is joining. Hi, Steve.
Hi, everybody.
I hope you guys are all safe and well. And yes, and we got a full-backed program again. It's Sunday.
It's Sunday, so we're always a little bit more relaxed, aren't we?
Exactly.
Yes.
That's how it should be.
And of course, for the non-Orthodox Christian world, it's Easter Day, the big event in the Christian calendar. So a very happy Easter Day to all of those who are celebrating Easter. Of course, I should point out that Easter actually is a very old celebration indeed, going back to almost, dare I say, pre-Christian days. So it's a celebration that most of the world, in some way or other, can get behind. Although over here in wonderful Greece, we have to wait another week before we get down to the Easter celebration. So, of course, this year they'll be a little bit curtailed, but at least I hope the spirit will be willing, won't it, Thomas?
Definitely will be willing, of course. No, and it's a great day, and we have a good program. We got some images we show you. It's Easter related, so there's some wishes here from Easter. I have to read quickly out a message from yesterday.
Yes.
I missed on there. It's regarding shopping.
Very important.
How was it? How is this thing? And David Elson is writing, yet I went to Sainsbury's Maypole, joined shortest queue I've ever seen. It kept moving constantly, and I was in and out of the shop in less than 15 minutes.
Good heavens.
That's a good result, isn't it?
Wow, yes, that's Sainsbury's in the United Kingdom, obviously. I've never heard the like before. Thank you very much for sharing your shopping experience under lockdown conditions with us. That's a food for thought, isn't it? I think that's actually quicker than what we might be able to achieve over here. Quite amazing.
Yeah,
15 minutes,
so.
full shop of essential items, of course, from Sainsbury's. Yeah, amazing.
So it's a good shop. That's how I like to shop. In and
Me
out.
too, in and
that's
out,
it,
quick as a flash, absolutely.
So, guys, if you want to take part in Lockdown SK here is 27, I think, is today. Yeah, episode 27. Wow.
Doesn't the time fly? Good
I
heavens.
know, it's crazy. But if you want to be part, don't hesitate. Write into us, say hello to us, comment for things we talk about, or let us know what we missed so we can let other people know. So that's it. Comment here live on Facebook or send us an email to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. And if you want to talk live with us, you can do that via Skype. And today we have a very special guest joining us on Skype. And I know Adrian is excited talking to him. I'm excited talking, of course. And this is Anthony McGowan, the author and philosopher.
Best-selling author and philosopher, a gentleman who we featured during last year's Corfu Literary Festival here on the beautiful island. And he gave a rousing, fantastic final lecture, bringing the event's curtain to a close, as it were, on the Sunday night from the beautiful, wonderful Capodistria Museum. It was a magical Sunday evening, and Tony was in full swing with a fantastic interactive discussion with quite a large audience, actually, all about how philosophy is relevant to today and how you might want to teach philosophy to your dog, which incidentally is one of the key questions I'm burning to ask the big gentleman myself. Big in terms of philosophy, because he has a tremendous brain. I mean, I'm not for minutes suggesting that he's anything other than big with the brain. Absolutely great guy, Tony, as were all the guests that we were lucky enough to interact and talk to from the Corfu Literary Festival. Of course, this year's event, planned for middle of September for 2020, is still being planned, but we simply don't know.
Oh, have you, Thomas? Yes, I got an update there. I spoke with Nikos Louvros about it, and he said, you know what, they're still planning, of course, the event to happen in September. But if it doesn't happen, beginning of September, like they would to do it now, then he pushes it out to end of September. And if there's a problem, is that he tries to organize. We see as the time goes now, we see how we can organize that, how he can shuffle that around. But he has no problem even doing that beginning of October.
Oh, fantastic!
So they determined to hold this event, and we see if the situation is all right. Gonna be a fantastic event that year.
It will be, and it was attended by many audience members, but particularly a fantastic array of authors from different parts of the world, Greek and English especially, and it was just great. Anthony was one of those, and we are lucky enough, hopefully, to be having some live calls with some others during the coming week, aren't we?
Definitely. And let's go over to the pictures our viewers send us, and there is some good stuff in there. So it's brilliant. Our Rolf sent us some pictures for Easter. So in German, Frohe Ostern, and English, of course, Happy Easter. But that's so stuff, people start getting crafty when they're at home and producing fantastic things.
It's great, Thomas, that is, because when I first saw it, I didn't take the gravity of the picture in front of me, but actually now I see it in its majesty. I can see it's very witty. Another example of why Germans have got a fabulous sense of humour.
Definitely, I thought this was funny this morning.
Guten Tag, by the way.
Over. Yes, definitely. Guten Tag, hallo und frohe Ostern an alle unsere deutsch sprechenden Zuschauer. Und ich hoffe, dass ihr einen fantastischen Ostersonntag habt. So, okay, just a quick one, man. Just wishing everybody a happy Easter, so yes, it's all right. So, well, but that's fantastic. So, next one we got in is one from other viewers, Kathy Duckworth.
That's lovely.
Look at that one. I love that one.
Beautiful. Well done, Kathy. That's fantastic. Great for Easter.
Thank you.
Perfect Easter bunny.
Yeah, definitely. She sent this over to Claire yesterday.
Very clever.
To me, and wow, I said I have to put that in. Easter is so fitting, but it's great work.
Thank you, Kathy, up there in Rhoda on this beautiful island. We do appreciate your input to this program. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, definitely. And on to the next one. And here, that's a crafty one. I think that's a good one.
Great,
Again, Rolf sent that in. And
well
it's
done,
the
Rolf.
Easter bunnies. So still. Day out, they got special permission, so they can be.
I think it's the garden, isn't it? They're in the garden.
Yeah, but what they're made of.
Yes, I didn't realise this when I first saw it, Thomas. You very cleverly pointed out, because you're looking at it and you kind of say to yourself, where have I seen that before? Well, that's the trick, ladies and gentlemen. Thomas, perhaps you'd like to enlighten.
Enlighten. That's the end bits of your curtain rails, what you put on it. I had to figure it out. I thought, okay, I know that, like you. I know that from somewhere.
Exactly.
It looks familiar, but this is the end bits of the curtain rails, the wooden end bits.
Would you believe
but
it?
It's great. See, this is recycling in one sense.
That's why it's fantastic.
Or upcycling, what they call it.
Upcycling. Yeah, that's a good one. Good. But very decorative, aren't they? And just the spirit for this time of year. Happy Easter bunnies. Just what we'd like to see.
Exactly. And here, now it's great. I put a smile to my face. So thanks, guys, for sending it in. But the next one, it's fantastic.
Oh, yes.
Have a look at that one.
Stand by. I like this one, ladies and gentlemen. Look at those expressions in the eyes. It's all in the eyes. The eyes have it, don't they? Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. What better way to do
great,
with a box of eggs?
I know.
Marvelous.
It's
no, it's good.
It's
good.
Great.
Great ingenuity.
Look at the expressions of each egg. They're suspicious of each other.
They are.
So it's great.
Ones.
And taking the time doing that. This is outside the box again.
Painstaking.
It's in the box,
but it's lovely, isn't it? What a good use of lockdown time, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very creative, and I love stuff like that. So, guys, keep that coming. It's
Please
great
do.
Having pictures like that.
Yes,
so,
it gives us all a good
the whole
laugh.
thing a little bit.
Hey, it gives us all a good laugh, doesn't it?
Definitely.
And in these deep, dark times, we need a bit of light and a bit of laughter. Although, of course, coronavirus pandemic is a very serious matter, which we are perennially being reminded of course. But here at StudioKerkyra on Lockdown SK, we want to provide you with this digital platform so we can exchange ideas and experiences, but also try and lighten the day just a little bit, just for a small portion of that day, don't we?
Yes, and let me say quick hello to everybody who logged on here. Hello to Xenia, hello to Steve Ford, hello to Andrea Cordina from LA, hello to Nicolo Sergio, hello to Nicole Donnerer from Austria. Hallo, hoffe alles ist in Ordnung bei euch. And Adrian Fremantle is watching from the United Kingdom.
Great.
Andrea is commenting in already. Thanks, guys, for the comments. You guys do a fantastic job. Thank you
Andrea,
so much for this.
Thank you, but actually, Andrea, it's you and all your colleagues, Frontline Medical Services. at the moment, and at all times, of course, but especially at the moment, it's you that's doing the wonderful job. You're risking your lives to help others. We're just sitting here on our derrieres talking, talking for England, Greece, and Austria. I don't suppose, but we're here for you as well, as I keep saying, and we'd love to hear from you. So why not give us a comment on Facebook Live, or take the plunge and give us a live call on Skype, or if you want to be Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous, give us an email at inbox@StudioKerkyra.com.
Great, and here. Quick hello to Sarah Roseman. Thanks, Sarah, for watching.
Hi, Sarah.
And Jackie Cherry is watching.
Hello, Jackie.
I got from Cassie Duckworth what we got, the rabbit pictures. Fantastic.
Yeah.
She said, it's Palm Sunday here and my neighbors have been out all day. So it's, yes, stay at home, guys. I know it's hard. We would love to go out. We would love to do special things now. But
frolic
we
and
can't.
walk and
it's
party
hard.
and all the rest of it. But
I know.
we just can't. No, those days are not here with us at the moment. And if we give up now, then all the sacrifices that everyone has made during the lockdown for the last 3 to 4 weeks would have been in vain, would have been to no good. So that's no good, is it? I think it's about collaboration and just bunkering down for just a little bit longer, whilst hopefully this wretched pandemic can sweep away over our heads and off to another planet somewhere else in the universe. Not that I want to wish it on anyone, really, but we certainly don't want it hanging around lurking on planet Earth, that's for sure.
Yeah, and here's another comment from Andrea from LA. She's saying being out is not good. The nice weather can be deceiving, so people still do not believe. So it's
that's a thing that we keep hearing, Andrea, from around the world as news reports coming in every day, and we hear things live ourselves when we have on the few occasions been out to get essential supplies. We've heard a lot of local people, quite frankly, disbelieving all of it. It's some sort of media conspiracy or some political conspiracy, but all the information that we have here on Lockdown SK and StudioKerkyra, it is absolutely not the case. It really is a real pandemic affecting millions. Well, according to the World Health Organization, in excess of 1.7 million people across the globe, and an incalculable number have died, sadly, and it's not an easy good death. I mean, no such thing as a good death, but this is not a good death. They are in serious troubles and complications inside critical care units. And of course, the strain that puts on not just the personnel, but also all the equipment. And as we keep hearing about the shortages of PPE, personal protective equipment, it really is a minefield of horrors. And we here at Lockdown SK are trying to do our best to communicate with as much accurate information as we possibly can, but also to hear your experiences and to shed a little bit of light and a little bit of laughter where we can. And we make no apologies for that, because these are dark days and it's not our job to make them any darker. There's enough of that around, I think, in the world. So between us, we collaborate and we'll get through this dreadful lockdown pandemic crises.
Yes, well said. So, and I think it's time to make our phone call, Adrian.
Oh, brilliant.
Talking with Anthony McGowan. So, you ready?
We're always ready for Tony and Anthony McGowan, I should say. Great character, ladies and gentlemen, and a great author too.
So let's have a go at it.
Great.
Hello. Hi, Adrian. Hello.
Oh, hello, Anthony. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here on the big screen. Welcome, Tony, to the programme. How are things with you in London?
Well, it's a very strange world we find ourselves in, isn't it? Who would have thought that the world would be like this a month ago?
Exactly.
I'm weirdly rather enjoying it. I know that's a terrible thing to say in these times when so many people are suffering and there's been so much genuine tragedy. But my own personal life is actually quite nice. That's awful, isn't it?
Are you managing to write at all at the moment?
No. Luckily I had one small kind of editing job that was left over from before the crisis, and I could kind of do that. But I found it almost impossible to do any sort of creative work at all.
Really?
There's something I don't know in the atmosphere that's to stop me from kind of moving ahead creatively.
That's interesting. You should say that, Tony. Do your friends find the same?
Yeah, a few of us in the kind of writing community, when we get on Facebook, we're all complaining about the same sorts of things. It's hard to think creatively in the world that we find ourselves in. But I'm even finding it quite hard to read. I don't know. So really? I'm in a sort of a creative stupor at the moment. but a moderately pleasant one. As a writer, my life hasn't changed that much actually. Right. Before the crisis, I sat in a room and I typed, and now I sit in a room and I type less.
You have a great way of putting things, Tony. But that's interesting because I can relate to some smaller way, not for writing, but certainly reading. I haven't felt the urge either. And when I have been out on the few occasions to get essential supplies, it doesn't feel right. I don't feel happy, even though it's beautiful weather. And as you know yourself, how beautiful this island of Corfu is.
Yes,
it doesn't feel quite right. What I can say, Tony, is all of us here at StudioKerkyra are trying to bring you as many positive Corfu vibes to you, your family, and all your colleagues as we possibly can.
I sense it over the Skype lines. We're already feeling happier.
Oh, thank you, Tony. But you gave us a fabulous discussion, as I was telling our good viewers and listeners, on the last day last year of the Corfu Literary Festival. And obviously, we're looking forward to this year's input from your good self. But as Thomas says, we're still up in the air on that. But let's hope we can
fingers crossed. I think we're all praying, all of those who came last year, praying it goes ahead this year. And I think by then, by September, we've got to be in with a chance, haven't we?
Yes, let's be positive. Maybe a look on the bright side, hey? Tony, one thing I must say to you is that I have a big apology to make, and I'm making it live on air. I'm terribly sorry. I got something terribly wrong in the commentary, and I misaccredited your story, The Knife That Killed Me, that was turned into a film with Sebastian Fawkes, your friend. I'm so sorry, and I've got egg on my face, so I'm making a public apology.
I'm rather proud that it was my
your good self that wrote that book, and not Charlotte Gray, as I misquoted. But Tony, that reminds me to ask you, how was it? Because I believe the film was, your book, was turned into a film by the British Film Institute. Was that right?
Not quite. No, it was an independent production company that made the film. Right. It's going back a few years now, but it was the whole experience was fantastic. I didn't have that much creative input into the film. That the filmmakers kept sending me the latest versions of the scripts. And they invited me to write it, but it's such a completely different skill, film writing, to writing novels. So I was very happy for them to do it. And then each time I got a copy of the script, I thought, blimey, this is really good. So I made a few very small changes, and I went on a couple of occasions to watch them doing the filming as well, which was totally fascinating. But it was mainly me as a kind of courtesy to me. I didn't really have that much to say, although there was one fight scene, and I gave some advice about how schoolboys in Leeds really fight.
Great. You've got built a bit of a reputation for being quite a teenage novelist, haven't you? You've had several books published about the teenage human condition.
Yeah, I guess that's my day job, really, writing what's known as YA, or young adult fiction. I think I've probably written about 12 YA books. And I'm actually in a state of suspended animation at the moment. One of my latest teenage book is a book called Lark, which is the fourth in a little series I wrote. It's been shortlisted for the Carnegie Medal, which is a big book prize here in the UK. And we're kind of waiting to hear about that. So I don't know yet if I've won it. And it's a thing that every children's writer really dreams about. It's an incredibly historic prize. And if you win it, you get a solid gold medal.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm touching wood for you. We wish you well on that one, Tony.
Thank you.
Can I just quote something that is attributed to you because it fascinated me?
Okay.
It's this one. My memories of school are seared into my mind, and they are the stuff that fiction is made of. Conflict and love and hate. That's quite a profound line, Tony. You still stand by it?
Well, totally. I mean, my particular school experience was very unusual. The school I went to was incredibly tough. It was in the middle of a very rough council estate in Leeds called the Halton Moor Estate. Okay. And so all the local really impoverished kids went to my school. But also, if you got expelled from any of the other Catholic schools in Leeds, you got expelled to my school. So all the psychos were from the rest of Leeds were there as well. And compared to a lot of the kids there, I was a bit unusual that I actually lived just outside Leeds. So I was geographically an outsider. And also, I was a bit posher than the other kids there. I mean, both of my parents were nurses, so not particularly posh, but compared to the other kids there, quite posh. And also, I was considered to be a bit of a brainiac. I was always one of the kids whose hand was always up in class. I liked learning stuff. So, and in that school, I should have had the crap beaten out of me on a regular basis. But for various reasons, I managed to avoid that. So all around there was this chaos and madness and danger kicking off, but I never got dragged down into it. I sort of floated above it, and I actually I had a great time at the school. I loved it. Every day was an adventure.
Great to hear. Brilliant. I think it's something to do with your magnetic personality, Tony, and obviously your superior brain.
Well, I was a very fast runner, which helped as well.
Ah, yes, you're quite a sportsman because you're quite a leading light with the Orphers 11 cricket team, aren't you, I do believe? Well,
yeah, but you don't need to be a particularly adept sports person to be in the team. It's I think first of all you need to be a writer, and then you need to love cricket, and that's the two boxes you need to tick. I mean, there are some very good players in the team, and I'm not one of them. I'm one of the average ones.
Oh, okay. But I'm sure it's great fun to do, though, isn't it?
Oh, incredibly good fun.
Yes,
both for the sporting aspect of it and obviously for the social aspect too, which is a big part of cricket, amateur cricket.
Yes, I bet. And you'd be looking forward to doing that again here on the beautiful island of Corfu, hopefully not too far away.
That'll be the third time we've come to Corfu. The festival that they run, the literary festival, has a kind of cricketing theme that goes through it. So the two things are the two great loves of our life, literature and cricket, are combined in the most beautiful place on earth.
Ah, thank you for saying that, Tony. We can all resonate with that one because we all love Corfu. Do you know, we said this before when we were lucky enough to meet and chat to you, and that was wonderful, Tony. There is a special thing here on Corfu, isn't there? Special energy, just a special something, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, it just seems to have the best of all possible worlds, which is a quote from a philosophical quote. But because you've got the Corfu town itself, which is a lovely town. It's beautiful, fantastic restaurants, has that kind of elegance, and then you've got that whole Greek island beauty of the rest of the island, the beaches and the mountains. So it's got everything.
Fantastic, it certainly has, and I know the island of Corfu is really looking forward to welcoming you back to its sunny shores.
Well, we're just praying that we come.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But from us all, Tony, we better start to wind down now. But wishing you all and your family a very happy rest of Easter, and good luck with the rest of the lockdown. And of course, stay safe.
Same to all you guys. I hope things end up okay. I've got a good feeling about it. Although I should have said this. One of the obviously my main recent book was about philosophy, how to teach philosophy to your dog. And there I go through a lot of the ancient Greek philosophies, and one of the ones that's most resonate now is Stoicism, which is all about how you endure crises and difficult times. So perhaps some of your readers can look into Stoicism, which will help them get through this tricky period.
That is fantastic advice, and that's a great word, isn't it?
Stoicism.
Stoic. And you're absolutely right. What's needed right now. Mm-hmm. So we didn't. I mean, it must be one of those few interviews when we haven't actually plugged your book. I'd love to take the chance while you've so politely reminded me. Please, ladies and gentlemen, go out and have a look on our electronic download, no doubt, from Amazon.com. How to Teach Philosophy to Your Dog by Anthony McGowan. Just a little light read on philosophy, life, and the whole damn thing.
Thanks for that.
Thank you, Tony. It's been a sheer delight and joy to talk to you this Easter day where you are in the United Kingdom.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Tony. Take care. Well,
what a great interview. What a great man himself. Brilliant.
He's absolutely phenomenal guy, and he's such an approachable, normal human being with an extraordinary brain. But his extra special attribute, I think, is his communication skills. How in that discussion that we keep talking about from last year at the Capodistria Museum here in Corfu about philosophy, and his book there, How to Teach Philosophy to Your Dog, how he was able to put it across in, dare I say, layman's terms, so a wide and eclectic audience could pick up just about everything he said. And the interaction level that was going on that Sunday night was quite phenomenal, Thomas, wasn't it?
A great evening. I've enjoyed it very much, and we got on Vimeo also the evening on there, his lecture.
Great,
but definitely was look into this book. It's brilliant. How to Teach Philosophy to Your Dog. I mean,
it's a funny title.
It was the whole speech up there at the Capodistrias Museum.
Yes, wasn't it beautiful?
First a beautiful setting, and then the whole talk he given was so fluent, was so out from him. It was really very, very interesting to see. Even the engagement of the people and when the discussion started off was great. So I personally enjoyed very much, and I'm looking forward to much more.
Absolutely, and I had made a start. I must carry on with my start of his one of his books from a couple of years back now, The Art of Failing, because the title appealed to me. It's right up my street, as my life's a bit of a failure, but not since I've joined StudioKerkyra. Obviously not, because it's just wonderful to be here broadcasting to all you wonderful people wherever you are in the world. But do take a look at Anthony McGowan's book, How to Teach Philosophy to Your Dog, available as an electronic download on Amazon.com. Published by Faber and Faber, I do believe. Well, I hope I've said that right. I'll get told off if I haven't.
Yeah, and then you can apologize again. But
Signal me. I think is the word, yeah.
But we're gonna post a link on the Facebook page direct to the book, because I think it's worth it. It's fantastic. It's great. Yes. No, and this is brilliant. But Tony, thank you so much for taking your time on Palm Sunday to talk to us here.
Well, it's Easter
Corfu.
Day in England.
Easter Day in England, exactly.
Yes, in London.
Taking his time.
Good old London town, Hampstead somewhere area, I do believe, and that's special to me, Tony, because I was born there many, many moons ago. But a great place anywhere in Hampstead, North London. Mind you, anywhere in the United Kingdom is good, but Greece and Corfu, extra good. Well, we love it here. But anyway, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe and try and get through with a smile if you can at some point during lockdown days.
Yes, and let's go back to some messages. I forgot here one. This one. Kathleen Blackford is saying, "Happy Easter from Edinburgh. Thank you so much, and happy Easter to you guys there. Thanks for taking part and being here." And I got a few others now too, and I'm just trying to switch around while we sing.
Can I say hello to someone? Or
of course, say hello.
Say hello to a Fiona Cork, who wrote in yesterday after the programme. She sent a heart in. Thank you, Fiona. The reason why I'm thanking you is because you also posted some photographs of Guildford, which brought back memories to me. Many years ago, I used to work in Guildford in Woodbridge Road, and I know that the people of Guildford were great characters, and it was a great place. So well done. Thanks very much for contacting the programme, Fiona.
Yeah, and here I go over and I'm saying hello to Jackie Cherry. Christopher Dabener is writing in with the complaint.
How's the cooking?
He says it's great. Yeah, that's the complaint. She ate all the biscuits already.
They must have been good, Chris. Yum, yum.
Richard Onslow is watching. Hi, Richard. Thanks for logging on. And Andrea from LA is writing in and say, watch Andre Bocelli today, guys. It's a great event. So I don't know what channel, maybe you let us know, but I think it's worldwide, the broadcast.
Okay, thank you for giving us the heads up there, Andrea. We'll look into that and get back to you, or by all means get back to us with a full review, Andrea, because do you know what, Andrea, in LA we love hearing from you, we really do. So thank you ever so much.
Yes, and we carry on with good news, and that is our Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been released and is back home at Downing Street number 10. So I think it's great news. So
absolutely, he's going to be a month or so recovering. Yes, apparently it emerged today from Downing Street reports that his illness was actually worse than had been publicly stated. And they were very concerned when he arrived at intensive care. But as Thomas has just told you, he's made a splendid, miraculous recovery, although I think recuperation is a few more weeks away before he resumes his normal active self. What amused me in his time spent in intensive care was, it's reported, whether this is true or not, I don't know, that he was kept jolly by reading Tintin novels, would you believe? Great! What a wonderful cartoon series that was.
Yes, and funny Tintin novels, there is now the movie Tintin. I said the recording, I said, I'm missing things when I work, so I want to catch up. And one of the movies I want to see, this is next Saturday, is Tintin, the movie. So it's great. So we're sharing something.
Yeah, but there we go.
We're sending all the best wishes here from the beautiful island of Corfu to our Prime Minister, and wish him a speedy recovery, and so he can go back to work, what he longs for, obviously.
Absolutely, and of course the country United Kingdom needs. I'm not suggesting it's not in good order at the moment, but it's always better to have the figurehead firmly back at the desk of power and working for everybody in the country. Well, that's the theory anyway, and these are unparalleled times, and I'm sure everybody wishes to get on with the job, and they're doing as best they can, especially the frontline workers and anyone involved, not just the healthcare workers. We must remember all the retail assistants and everyone in the service chain, the cleaners and everybody that's involved in helping others at this terrible time, whilst the other rest of the population is holding at home under lockdown.
Exactly, and there's a special shout out again to Julie Cam and all the staff at Boots, who are doing the testing for the NHS workers. So by appointment, they're testing the NHS workers, and if they're negative, they can return back to work. But it's all, you see, it's
That's
fantastic
great, yes.
how fantastic collaboration is starting, how all these things coming together, how bigger companies and A-lists and other celebrities are going straight, going straight and working with each other, collaborating. And I think another example we got there is the fantastic, the one and only Matt Lucas.
Absolutely.
I love the guy. I think he's excellent.
A heartwarming story. A week or so ago, he's rehashed his, no pun intended, he's rehashed his single about a baked potato, wasn't it?
Yes,
and
exactly.
That's for a charity called Feed NHS. Did you know, Thomas, that the other two people behind it were the actor Damon Lewis, who starred as Brody in the long-running Netflix series Homeland, and his good lady wife, Helen McCrory, who's the lady in Peaky Blinders. She plays Polly. Polly Gray, I do believe, is the character. BBC series, also on Netflix. And they raised £1 million a few weeks ago to set up a charity to feed NHS frontline staff in collaboration with restaurant chains across London. And they ended up serving thousands of meals to University College Hospital London NHS Trust and Imperial College London NHS Trust. And now, thanks to the generosity of lots of people from around the world, they are extending it to other cities. Birmingham and Manchester and Cardiff are next up. They plan to spread it further afield, and that's with Matt Lucas as well, and maybe there's some other celebrities behind the scenes as well, doing their bit to feed all the frontline NHS staff, and that's fantastic, isn't it?
Great. And we spoke, as it's over a week ago, we spoke about that. Matt Lucas took this song, the Potato Song, rewrote it, quite a funny write-up when they released it. And it became a hit, an instant hit, and it's just started snowballing, and it's great. And this is how you can support, and that's outside, thinking outside the box, and it's great. Just utilizing that, the whole thing now. So when restaurants, it's great for the staff.
Absolutely.
I mean, for the restaurants themselves, they see a light forward. At least now in this situation, they have something to do. They don't need to panic. It's this worry is a little bit taken away from them, and that's great, and this secures so many jobs.
Oh, totally. So it's a splendid effort there by all those people involved. Really is.
But you got any other news? I'm saying hello quickly.
I was going to give you some other news that I came in a couple of days ago, and it's all about fruit picking. Do you want to know about fruit picking?
Yeah, let's go.
Well, it's a funny thing. Have you noticed, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you have, how Brexit has suddenly fallen off the agenda of topics that the media wish to talk about, and it's been obviously dominated and replaced by the wretched, dreaded coronavirus pandemic. However, back in the day when Brexit was leading all the news stories, we were ever hearing about the worries that British growers had for picking fruit because of the loss of seasonal migrants. That was due to Brexit. Well, now, of course, they've got an extra problem because there's no international travel because of coronavirus. But the good news is that they've had a 50% increase in search results for agricultural workers, and they've had an 83% increase in uptake for people seeking jobs. So this is fantastic. This is figures from the British Growers Association. There's also a thing called the British Apples and Pears Association, would you believe, which makes me laugh, because when I hear apples and pears, I think stairs. God blimey, mate, it's that one. But would you believe another charity that's normally used to sending students and young persons during their gap year when they're at college or university overseas for paid work, that's all stopped now because of the coronavirus. Instead, they've just recruited 10,000 young people to work on farms, 70% of which, would you believe, have never worked on a farm before. But this is all about picking fruit so it doesn't go to waste in the fields yet to come in the summer months in the United Kingdom. So that's great, Thomas, isn't it?
That's good news. See, this is the stuff coming out where people were worried before.
They were very worried.
Yeah, very worried. They said, how should we collect all the vegetables, all the fruit, everything what we're growing? We're gonna have a problem. And they were really confused about the situation. And then disheartened, you can say, but it's not a problem. You see, that it solves it.
That's
There's
one good thing out of something bad.
Yes.
Actually, we can truly say, first to my knowledge, out of this coronavirus pandemic in the United Kingdom, that some bad situation that was prevalent before has suddenly come good because of another bad situation. Isn't it strange how these things work out?
Yeah, but beautiful. See, that's you never can say what's happened.
Exactly.
That's the beauty in the whole thing. And this is why I say, guys, okay, stay at home, be patient, don't be frustrated. But the solution will present itself, and in this case,
exactly, out of thin air. Who would have thought that? So just hang on in there and stay safe wherever you are.
Yes, definitely here from us. A lot of love. Here, Steve Ford, Raudin. Hi, Adrian. Steve. Hi, Doris. Hi, Claire. And hi, Jamie. The heat wave is over for now. So rain later.
Oh,
so
Steve,
it's the rain gods. It's probably Steve done I don't know, a rain dance.
Really? But on his crazy golf course.
Yes,
which was,
probably.
You know, we forgot to ask Steve when we were on a live call the other day, who won the first competition of the crazy golf?
Oh, that's a good one. Who is
so maybe
yes.
Steve could answer us now live. Go on, Steve. Let us know. Put us out of our misery.
Who won? Wait, I bet you his answer gonna be, of course, me.
Oh, I don't know. He could have had a strong challenge from his lovely, good lady wife, Anne. Hello, Anne, if you're watching. Anyway, that was marvellous. We did have a tickle and a laugh when we saw that he'd converted his lovely back garden in Wolverhampton there into a crazy golf course.
Yeah, and I got here another message in. Sorry, but it's brilliant. It's good. It's the golf course. It's exactly
always good when you see these things.
Yeah, but other message here. Paul Dew is writing in. Hi guys and Claire.
Hi Paul.
From a sunny Bognor Regis, not quite as beautiful as Corfu. Nah, Bognor is beautiful
well,
too.
Bognor has its good places. Yeah. Yes, absolutely, Paul. I know it quite well because I used to be there in a theatre before. I think something sad happened to it. That's the Watershed Theatre. Maybe you remember that, Paul. But there's some lovely drives and walks around and cycles. It's all very good for cycling, isn't it, where you are there? It's a lovely part of the south coast of England, there in Sussex. Well worth a visit when you can after lockdown, of course, that is. There used to be, I think it sure is, a big Butlins camp. When Butlins was all the rage back in the day, one of their few camps was actually at Bognor Regis.
Yeah. But I have to add quickly, because he said after lockdown, of course, and that's actually the actual lockdown and not our show, guys. Don't confuse that.
No, well, yes, quite. I might have confused our beloved viewers and listeners, but to me, it's Lockdown SK is the show that we do. I use the term lockdown when we're talking about the physical lockdown, as in guidelines from governments around the world.
But
I'm glad we cleared that up.
yeah, we have to tread carefully, man. You know how it
no
is.
stone unturned, absolutely.
No, but Nikos from Raphael Petrol Station is watching. Hi,
hello,
Nikos, nice to see you. And Harry is watching.
Harry AV from Linear Cafe.
Yes,
Harry and George, the two finest, funniest characters you could ever wish to meet. Those two together are real comedians. Trust me when I say that, ladies and gentlemen. They have us in hoots when we're lucky enough to be in their company. So thanks, Harry. Best wishes to you and George and all your friends and customers wherever they are.
Yeah, definitely. And I can't wait until you open again.
I like those toasted tea cakes.
I know, I just wanted to say.
We're talking about food again, Thomas. We always do. We always end up on a show from StudioKerkyra somehow squeezing in the noble subject of food. Well, we are foodies, I suppose, after all. But indeed, yes, toasted tea cakes at Harry and George's Linear Cafe. Something to look forward to after the dark days of lockdown.
Yeah, and while we're talking about St. George South, let's say a big hello to Cafessers, the Werner Cafessers, to Akis, and
Sunset Bar, and all of the wonderful
bar down,
and the Burger Bar. Wasn't that great?
You love the burger. See, he's going back to food again.
Yes, I remember Claire was sitting there looking resplendent, eating the burger. She was our tester for the show way back when we did an out and about. And there was good old great George Vlachos, the diver. Do you remember him, Thomas?
Yes, with the diving instructor, with the diving school just next to the burger shop. We interviewed him, so it's in old episodes of Night Shift. But hello to everybody down,
we love
Ian Fern and so on.
Ian Fern, thank you for your patience and for doing all you do for the cats and other animals. That's another point there. St. George's South, great seaside community, wonderful family holiday seaside place to stay by the sea here on Corfu. Great place.
Great place. And here another comment in from Boldu is Butlins is closed for another month.
Oh,
so,
right. Okay,
and I think they're gonna stay closed for the whole of the summer, probably. I don't know, but update in the UK, it got a little bit worse, and this is
the figures aren't that good, are they? They're desperately looking for that peak. I know I've been reading for the last 2 weeks that the next week coming is going to be the peak, but I think they're still saying today that they're another week or so away. The death rate maybe has fallen slightly, maybe the infection rate has fallen slightly, but as they keep reminding us, it's too early to call.
It's definitely too early to call, yeah. But the lockdown works. You see, the lockdown has an effect, and that's the
exactly
brilliant
thing. The spread, to stop the spread of the virus, at least to cut it back. The less people out on the street, the less victims this horrible virus has to play on. Just always remember that, you know. That nasty virus is after you, wherever you are. And if you're safely at home, it can't get you, folks.
Exactly, perfectly said. And this is how it is. So the lockdown has an effect. Now it's just up to us to stay put, to not get frustrated with the situation and just give it a little bit more. Maybe we're really lucky and maybe we can escape that. And the hope is still that there's a vaccine coming out of nowhere, what would be great.
It certainly would. We're all praying for that, but we keep being reminded that it's still a year to 18 months away. Although every now and again we hear stories when there might be one leapfrogging that. And the latest I heard, I think I mentioned yesterday, professor from Oxford University suggesting there could be a vaccine on trial by this September. But even that seems quite some time away from where we are now. And even if there was a trial in September, that doesn't necessarily mean doses of the vaccine are going to be distributed anytime soon this year. I think we are realistically looking into 2021, dare I say. Let's hope someone out there, clever scientist, can prove us wrong with that, and we can get our hands on distribution of the vaccine to as many possible people as we possibly can.
Yes, definitely.
But the other thing that they're very worried about, I read yesterday, Thomas, from the World Health Organization, is for these lockdowns not to end too soon. They're very concerned in that forcing us into a false sense of security. And they're very equally worried about a second wave coming back.
Hitting what is at the moment, I think South Korea is on the knife edge of that one, where they said,
and Singapore.
Well, South Korea got confirmed yesterday. There's people who had it and recovered, just fallen back at it. So it just started again, and that's a little bit of bad news from that side. But we have to wait. With all this information, we have to wait until we get really positive, good, concrete proof that it is like they say. So it's all at the moment just
a bit up in the air, isn't it?
Exactly.
And these testing kits have to be made available to as many souls as possible, particularly the antibody test. That's the one that tests whether you're asymptomatic or not, or whether indeed you've had the virus and then sort of recovered, dare I say.
Yeah, let me go through to some messages people writing in. Pandora Doyle is watching.
Hello,
See son George. Hello, Pandora. Nice to see you. And Sally Roberts saying, hi, all. Happy Easter from West Cornwall. Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, and happy Easter to you guys all. I hope there's not too many tourists running around where you are at the moment.
No, hopefully not, Sally. Hopefully.
Yeah. And here is Paul. Thanks for writing in, Paul. Paul Dew is writing in. Okay, now over 10,000 deaths just announced, so that should just be announced. UK
tragic. Thank you.
Over 10,000 deaths in Wolf, and this is a sad moment. Yeah,
it is indeed. The deaths in the UK are still stubbornly high on a daily basis, as they are still in other countries such as Spain, Italy, and France, and of course the United States of America, which is suffering right this minute in a terrible wave of the pandemic.
Yeah, so our thoughts going out really to everybody out there. We, as we always say in the show, we're quite lucky being on the island of Corfu, because it's a little bit of isolation we live in anyway, naturally, because we live out in the countryside next to a beautiful beach and the lake, so we're a little bit isolated. So for us, we are not our experience is not as heavy as maybe some of you out there now, because if you live in a city, you experience that completely different. You must see the effect, especially of lockdown. And here we don't feel that lockdown effect. Really.
No, that's a very good point, Thomas, and we are very fortunate exactly where we are. One country that reported some figures yesterday, which is bucking the trend for the southern hemisphere. If you might know, you might have read recently that by and large, countries in the southern hemisphere haven't suffered quite so badly as their colleagues in the north. Well, not anymore, because Brazil announced over 1,061 deaths yesterday, I think, which is a serious point. Of course, the president there, Mr. Bolsonaro, he doesn't really believe this virus exists. There's a lot of protest to that going on in Brazil, but the facts, the minimum figures, speak for themselves. And the other point about Brazil is they're very concerned about the indigenous population of the Amazon, because obviously, can you imagine what havoc that would wreak throughout their population? I'm just joined by a cat.
You're just being joined by a cat, what is great.
But that's a serious point, because there's no medical facilities stuck out in the middle of the Amazon. And also, these indigenous tribes are very prone to catching human pathogens. So coronavirus could cause absolute pandemonium.
Yeah, and that's the worry now. They have really no safeguards or anything in place, no infrastructure. No. That's really living cut off for the rest of the world. So it's but Paul just saying here, the latest is 737 deaths in the last 24 hours.
Okay, well, that's down a bit from, that's about 200 or nearly 200 down on the previous 2 days. So, you know, they say one swallow doesn't make a summer, but that's 2 days. So maybe tomorrow, if the figure's below that, then that will be showing up a good positive trend for a reduction in the number of reported cases and fatalities. Of course, that's the worst thing ever, obviously. Thank you, Paul, for keeping us abreast of latest news from the United Kingdom there. That's great.
Definitely, and sorry, I just had to go under the desk because the cat just jumped up and wanted to walk over the cables, and now he's coming.
Oh, no,
good boy. Okay. see, everything can happen here while we live on air, so it's great, but why not? Medea Wolf is watching. Hi, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm just trying to juggle everything.
It's absolutely great where we hear from you. Wherever you are in the world, we're broadcasting live across the internet on Facebook Live, our studio website, www.studiokerkyra.com, the Vimeo platform, vimeo.com, and of course now YouTube. So all you jolly YouTubers can join us as well, and we'd love to hear from you. So give us a call live on Skype. Why not?
Yeah, it's Sunday, it's Palm Sunday, Easter is on in the Catholic world, and yeah, man, what a fantastic day. Just people, please stay at home and don't go out celebrating, especially this evening. I got a couple of things in where people say, you know, they heard there is some Easter parties going on and the police had to break up. But I think this is not the first time police had to break up in the UK. Many parties.
Yes,
and that was last weekend? Or?
It was Manchester. Well, I know we've got some lovely viewers in Manchester watching us, and very good afternoon to you in Manchester, great city. But I read, I don't know whether it's true, that over 66 parties, well, no, it was 600. It was a tremendous 660 parties, some with DJs, was stopped last weekend in Manchester. I have no idea what's happening this weekend, but it's not just Manchester. I think it happens right across the board, Thomas.
Oh, definitely. And here, yeah, it happens. Definitely.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place, and it's quite sad when you look at that.
Yeah.
So, Opa, and I have here, he is just getting very, very comfortable with me here at the moment.
Great.
So, yes, and I got a message in Karen Morrison from Gambia is writing in, unfortunately, yesterday we had 5 more confirmed cases in Gambia, totaling a number of 9. So it's the next thing. So
it's a small country, but quite densely populated and poor in terms of medical services. A great country, though, and great people. And Banjul is a fabulous little capital, really lovely. I remember having a boat trip there on a fishing boat. It was an extraordinary experience. And we helped to bring the boat, push the boat in on shore. And that was quite a thing, I can tell you. Gambia is a great country, absolutely. They're in West Africa. So thank you, Karen, very much for writing in. It's always good to hear from you. And I know that this island, beautiful island of Corfu, because you've written it on Facebook, I think, is your beautiful island. And I'm sure it is. It's everybody's beautiful island, but it's nice to know that you love it too, Karen. That's great.
Great, yeah. And no, guys, thank you so much for writing in and commenting. Today I'm not just having the board to deal with and all the messages. Also, one of my cats are here, so it's great. Why not? He's relaxed. As long as he's relaxed, he's fine. I'm seeming to miss a couple of messages coming in, and I don't know how and why, so I apologize for that. But what do you think? It's soon time to go again.
Oh dear. Well, just before we do go, can I give out a very important piece of advice following on from a story that we ran a week ago, and that's the increase in calls to the domestic abuse line in the United Kingdom. Apparently there's been a 25% surge of cases. Apart from telling you that this last week over 400 people have been arrested in just the West Midlands area of the United Kingdom alone for domestic abuse issues, the point why I'm mentioning this is because the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, announced a special dedicated number. It's a mobile number, and if you are a victim of domestic abuse and you need urgent help, please phone this number, which is 999, and then on your mobile 55, and that will put you straight through to a dedicated domestic abuse team. Hopefully, they will be able to help you in your hour of need. Domestic abuse is an appalling thing. It's one of those silent things that kills and injures in the background indiscriminately. It affects the partners both either side, but also the children who are living in the house. Believe you me, that is the case. And I know the Duchess of Cornwall has been leading and doing great sterling efforts in this field, as have a lot of other people. So spare a thought. to all the people who are having to be suffering domestic abuse whilst they're in lockdown with their abusive partners. And believe you me, it's not always male to female. It does go the other way as well. Strange as it may seem, domestic abuse is domestic abuse. Whoever it's committed by, whoever it's committed to, it's all horrible. So don't forget the number if you're in need, in the United Kingdom, on a mobile phone. It's 999 and then the number's 55.
What a great advice! Thank you for that one. It's a good thing.
It's very good.
You have to really put that and make use of that. That's so important. Ask for help. That's the most important step of anything. And because of the lockdown, of course, these numbers got worse, and that's quite sad. Being forced now to stay in, and there's nothing you can do. It makes you think.
It sure does. Yeah. It's absolutely terrible. And just a final another update on a story we told you about, which was ventilators that had appeared on the BBC studio set at Elstree for their long-running soap drama, Holby City. Apparently, the ventilators were part of other medical machinery, and they'd all been donated by other people just before the coronavirus pandemic happened.
That's what we talked about, BBC for the sets.
So the BBC wonderfully have donated them straight to NHS Nightingale Hospital in London. So that's great. And other medical equipment as well. Because, of course, the studio is not currently filming at the moment. And
not at all. And I don't know how long they have episodes left to show.
I don't know.
That's a good thing maybe to find out,
Yes. But well done for the people that donated the machines in the first place, and well done for the BBC for passing them on to where they're absolutely most needed at this critical time. So
that's good. And to finish the whole thing off for today, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, for watching, and sending us comments. I got one more update. That's from Stephen Steve Ford now. Regarding his mini golf.
Great.
We played 10 rounds of crazy golf in my garden.
Wow.
Taking family members' turns. 5 ladies versus 5 men. The man won by 13 shots. What did I tell you? I knew that.
Well, I'm slightly surprised, Thomas, because I actually thought that the ladies might come make a challenge and come good. But there you go.
But you know what the ladies probably said when they lost. As I said, he lets you win, guys. We want to keep you in the spirit. You know how this goes,
Thomas,
man.
Yes, I forgot about that one. Absolutely. Well done to you all, and thank you very much, Steve and Anne, for sharing us with that story, because that's great.
No, definitely. So, guys, thank you all so much for logging on again and for taking part in Lockdown SK here on the beautiful island of Corfu. And I hope I haven't forgotten anybody. I really, really hope. I'm not getting all the messages in at the same time, but you can still comment. And if I should have forgot something, I'm going to mention you tomorrow in our show. What is again on at 6 p.m. Greek time and 4 p.m. UK time. But that's all we have time for today. No. Sadly enough, we hope you have a fantastic rest of your Easter weekend. Enjoy that with family. And yes, please stay patient. Don't get frustrated with this situation. I know it's heavy, but for today, just try to reflect a little bit and spend time with your loved ones. So for me here in Corfu, goodbye, and I see you tomorrow.
Absolutely, and as always, thank you very much for your time, and try and do at least one thing that will make you happy, and smile whenever you can, and enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. Bye-bye.